Okay, it is May 19th, 2022. It is 7:06 p.m. This is the Leadership Committee of Bronx Community Board 11. You do have a quorum. I don't know if you want me to announce the names, Yahe, or is that good enough?
No, it's fine, because once you're on YouTube, you can see all the names. I see everybody now.
Okay.
So then we'll get started. We'll review the April 2022 meeting minutes. Jeremy, if you can pull them up.
Give me a second. Okay. Can you see that?
Yep.
Make it larger.
No, it's fine.
Oh,
Continue scrolling down, Jeremy. And a little bit more. I think we're almost done. Yep. All right. Motion to approve the draft April 2022 minutes. Do I have a second?
Hold
I
on,
see.
Did you want to vote on now or after the gallery? So that's how I had the agenda set up. For
That's,
after.
I guess, because we have, you mean you want to run through all the three motions later?
Yeah, I think it's up to you. I mean, if you want to hear from the
Okay, that's
public
fine.
first, maybe before we
That's
vote
fine.
on anything.
That's fine. You can bring up the, let's go to the second item then. The Bronx Community Board 11 day at Yankee Stadium will be Monday, May 23rd. I think an email was sent out by the staff.
Yeah,
Al is going to be there with the awardees. Organizations were able to request tickets. The link was sent out. It's still on the website if anyone wants to go request tickets. Any other issues I missed there for Al or Jeremy?
No, just a point of clarification because some people are confused or misinformed. We were notified late Friday about this, and so I didn't really get started working on it until Monday. And it's been really hard because, like I said, Chris and Harriet were basically out today, at least I'd say most of the day, so yeah, so we got the breakfast tomorrow, the precinct breakfast tomorrow, these meetings tonight. No tickets have gone out at all yet. We only have one awardee currently confirmed for the on-field ceremony, maybe two. I know three others cannot go. It's a small amount of tickets. We only got 125 tickets this year. That's including what we have to give to the awardees. We're giving 4 per family, or 4 per for awardee, however they want to use it, and currently 4 per community group. Yeah, an email was sent out to the board and then subsequently to the public with the link to our website. That's it.
All right, sounds good. All right, then we'll go to item number 3, which is the May public hearing that we've scheduled. So the public hearing we're scheduling is to discuss future meetings, because we're not going to be able to do fully remote. We will have a remote option, but we want to have a public hearing to discuss that option that we'll have. We have not picked a date, right, Jeremy?
Well, just to be clear, so I hyperlinked it here. It's on our website. This is we have to have a public hearing if we're going to do it. We have to vote whether or not we're going to allow a remote option. It's, if you click on here, a lot of language. It's very cumbersome. It was done basically with the intent of stopping us from meeting remotely. At least that's my interpretation of it. The borough president's office has concurred that they felt like this was intentionally written to dissuade us from doing what we've been doing for the past 2 years. So what that, just to break it down for everybody, not only do we have to vote to allow it, what it means is, so let me go back to that actually. It says here, June.
June 8th.
Yeah, where does it
It's
say that?
under the first question, the first line at the end of the first answer.
Okay, yeah, I'm jumping around too much. Okay, June 8th. It's actually now June 15th because of the extension of the state of emergency has been extended to June 14th. So anyway, June 15th, we have to start meeting in person again. And the only people who could attend remotely is after a quorum is established and that person has a valid excuse. And we have to determine what valid excuses, what do we want to consider a valid excuse? Some of the language that was cited by the state was caregiver issues, needs, whatever, sickness. I forget, maybe work related. I forget exactly what the. It's easy to find though. Ultimately, if you, well, I don't know if it's easy to find. You can find if you really want to go into the details. I don't think we need to do that right now, though.
Okay, all right. I had a question, but I hear you, Jeremy.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you want to ask real quickly, better now, I guess, than later at the full board.
No, it's just that those are the guideline excuses that people can use to still meet remotely, and it's up to the community board to adopt those reasons and put them into a a bylaw. Put them in a bylaw where these are the reasons why, the exact, and if we can add to those or subtract from that, I'm just saying that what happens from this point on, how do we get that as a a guideline for everyone to use?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, so this law only allows us for 2 years until July 1st, 2024.
Oh, I see.
I guess it's maybe it's a tester, like a bellwether, to
Right,
see if something more permanent can be made.
I see. So
And the other,
after that, there's no excuses after that. After that point, after what you said, only for a year? How
2
long?
years.
So after
2
2
years.
years, we have to go back to, unless something happens.
Well,
go back
no.
Oh,
We have to go back to meeting in person come June 15th.
right.
This would be only exceptions. So
Is it permanent exceptions?
all right. So let's pretend oral you have to watch a child
Right,
for whatever reason.
right.
So you have or maybe you're a caregiver for somebody.
Okay.
So not just a child. So you could call in remotely in that instance, as long as a quorum is established, like tonight. Say we have a quorum, but you have a caregiver need. You come in remotely, you have to show your video too,
Right,
which you're doing, but not everybody obviously is doing right now.
right.
You're required to show your video and you have to have a valid excuse or an excuse that the board adopts.
Right.
And the bylaws, though, yes, ideally this would be in the bylaws, but not immediately because we have to make a decision by June 15th.
Okay.
If you don't make it, and again, why this has been written to, in some ways, dissuade us is that the law is written. If you don't make a decision by June 15th, you can't make a decision after that. You're stuck with the way things were before COVID.
So,
Gotcha.
Jeremy, that means you have to have the public meeting before June 15th, and it's almost the end of May.
Yeah, that's why it's scheduled for 6:00 next Thursday.
Before the regular meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
And once we establish those
Guidelines, literally.
those guidelines, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, once they're they're set, right? And it's adopted forever.
Well, I mean, I think you could probably change like specific here or there reasons, right? Like say there's something really to think of, but but what we have to do is that if we want to do this, allow for this. That is what we have to make. I mean, yeah, you have it all spelled out as much as possible. but I'm sure there are tweaks that would have to be made.
That's what
after
I'm saying.
point.
So they're established, they're set in stone after that, and we can just go by that unless in the future, we change it, but as before that date, once we establish that, it's set in stone as long as we are meeting together, right?
Well, I'm sure we could do away with it.
But can
Okay.
you amend it after? Suppose someone left something out. Can it then be amended? Or
Yeah, I'm
after?
sure it could. I think it's the gist of it you have to approve or not
Okay.
approve. And you
No,
could always
I just
jettison.
I just want to make sure that it's once it's established. It's established. So like in 2025, we can still do this. Where we have the
No.
guidelines.
Right
No, it's
now,
only good for 2 years. He said.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to know, Jeremy. After 2 years, it go we all those things we established goes out of the window, right?
currently, yes.
After 2 years, all of that stuff goes out of the window, right?
But it could easily change. I mean,
Okay,
remember
that's good enough.
remember what happened last year, when we were expecting a spike in the fall and people
Right.
still weren't. I mean, I knew somebody who died in August of COVID. And so committee boards were openly stating that they were going to violate state law and not meet in person.
Right.
And because of it, Albany met at a special session and they allowed the extension of our own meeting. So tomorrow never knows.
No, but in a perfect world, in 2 years, everything goes out. In a perfect world. But I know if things change, things change.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Thank you, Jeremy.
Fine.
That's all.
So is that good enough? Yeah, hey, can we move on from that?
Yeah, that's good.
So that is just for the public to hear. Grammy, Al's in, right? Al's in the meeting. So as far as I remember, I believe, so the public hearing now called forth is not required attendance of board members. And the point of the public hearing is just to hear from the public.
You're breaking up, Jeremy. I didn't hear you clearly.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, Al, but the public hearing is not required attendance of board members
Right.
for next week. You're not requiring the attendance of the board members. Okay. Good. Yeah, hey.
All right, we'll move on to the draft full board agenda for next week. Jeremy, if you can pull it up.
Yeah, I have to pull up a Word document because it's still in draft form and it's not to the point where I could put it. I was just about ready to put it up, but no. So just bear with me. So May 26th, everybody can see that, right? Pledge of Allegiance, moment of silence, gallery. Currently I have Alicia Simmons from Homeless Remedies. And then I have to add under chairman's report, motions for Bab and Tatsadar. So I'll make edits to that. Treasurer's report, secretary's report. I didn't even have April here. My report. Bylaws, so there are proposed amendments. I linked the minutes. I think I have that up. I didn't link the minutes yet for April full board. We do have those though. But draft amendments for bylaws should be up. Nominating committee, so for chairperson, we still have nominations for chairperson, vice chair, and secretary. Parks, there was a motion Well, it was originally motion to approve, but I put motion of no objection because that's typically how we do it. It's up to you, Lisa. Based on this presentation by New York City Parks Department,
Yeah, that's fine. No objection. I just didn't realize it was to do it that way, but that's fine.
it's just in case somebody comes back and objections and we didn't, it's just like cover CYA, so to speak.
Yep.
Leadership, we didn't vote on anything yet. Housing, Hazel's not here, right?
Or under leadership, where do you want to put the public hearing? Under leadership or the chairman's report?
So, yeah, it's a good question, Al.
Put
About
under Al.
the meeting, open meetings law amendment, right?
It doesn't matter, Jeremy, either one.
Give it
I
to
think
Al.
we
He
should do
doesn't
it
have
under
enough to do.
executive board. I say we do under executive board, Al, because we just had your executive board meeting about paying for this, right? Or at least for the recording aspect.
That's
I
fine.
mean, so yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a real pain to actually try to implement the open meetings law. Is that okay, Yahe? I'll put it right there. Put it first, and then we'll do the motions just like we had for the executive board agenda.
Yeah, and when are we talking about the recordings?
So, do you want me to actually type it out here?
Yeah, just put it as D, as a fourth item.
Yeah, I'll put it. Well, I'll put it. I want to couple it with open meetings law because it's relevant to that. I think
Yeah, that's fine.
it's
Sounds
related to that. Or I could just put it together: open meetings law and word. Yeah, I don't think. And the other thing is, I don't think a lot of people realize that there will be no more recordings like we currently having right now. There will be no more of these. All right. So bylaws, leadership, unless we vote on something, I'll just take you out. Yeah. Hey.
Yep.
Public safety, Veronica, you guys didn't vote on anything, right?
No, we didn't have any motions this month.
Okay, I don't know if Averill is here, but she and her committee were kind enough to move their meeting because of the conflict with parks that came up at the last two leadership committee meetings. She's going to move to the first Tuesday of the month. And we're trying to get Joanna Rojas from community construction and transportation. Their June meeting is moving to the second Monday. So and then electeds. Is there anything else?
No, I can't think of anything.
Jeremy, I have a question because, I got contacted by John Doyle from Jacoby Hospital. He would like to have Community Board 11 meet or come to Stop the Bleed, I guess, training, so that if there's, God forbid, something happens before the first responders get there, at least they would know how to say stop the bleeding of a person so that, they would have a better chance of survival.
Hey, Sandy, can we leave that for new business?
Fine. Fine. Okay. That's what I want to know, to put it in. No problem.
Yeah, just remind us before we end the meeting, so I don't
Yes,
forget to call
I
on you.
have it in, I have it in my notes.
Okay,
I mean,
sounds
if
good.
you want, do you want me to put you on the full board agenda so you could announce that? Is that why?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know what to do. All I know, and it would take place at Jacoby, because I asked him where would it be done.
Well, maybe it could be a housing committee meeting
Why?
of sorts.
Health, I would say health, no?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
health
why
committee issue.
it would be health.
Yeah,
Or yeah, okay, all right. So
I'll
whatever.
put it
All right.
under new.
Okay.
I guess,
We can't.
is
It
the health
can't be a
committee,
regular meeting because you have to show up to take the class. It's not like a small presentation.
Okay.
You better check the date of those classes, because I think they're in May. I want to say May 23rd. And they're giving 3 sessions that day.
You mean Stop the Bleed?
Yes,
Is that, yeah, not unless they would do one separately, but I know he's trying to get community boards 9, 10, 11, or
they will,
whatever.
they will do one separately if we have enough people.
Right, that's
So,
the point.
so I see the email now, Sandy.
Yeah,
I can forward it on to the whole board. Yeah, because he CC'd me on your email.
right. The one good thing to do would be that we would have to know before I get back to John if they would notify the board if they're interested in getting involved. We don't know the date yet, but he would set it up just for members of the
Yeah,
community
Jeremy,
board.
send out a notice to everyone about the possibility of it, see how many people are interested, then we'll pick a date and we'll have them come to us, or we'll go to them.
Well, I think John said it would be easy to do it at Jacoby, I guess in the nurses building in that big room.
They'll do it at Jacoby, or they will take it on the road if they have to.
Yeah, but where
Yeah,
would
so-
we have in the office? I don't think would be enough space. All right,
No.
whatever.
Well, so hold on. So John, the email John sent me is that CB10
Right.
and Jacoby hosted a Stop the Bleed. This looks like, the photo looks like at a hospital. So I don't
Yes.
think it would be at our office.
No, I think at Jacoby would be better because you would be spaced out into, different tables or areas. You need a bigger space.
All right. So yeah, I mean, why don't I put you on the agenda for Thursday? And so you can mention about, because what this is about is probably picking dates, right?
Well,
And gauging people's
first
interest.
we have to know if the people are interested, how many, and then we pick the date. All right.
Do you have an idea if they have a minimum they're
Sure.
looking for?
No, he didn't get, there was nothing mentioned.
Jeremy, just send a memo out to all the members of the board if anybody's interested. We'll get a number that's interested, then we'll pick a
And then
date.
I'll tell John and we'll pick a date.
I'll do that. All right. Okay. But I'll put Sandy on the agenda just so you can remind people. I mean, I'll send out the email now,
Right,
but just
and
remind
they
them.
would have to, you know what, the best bet is to call the board, so the board has the list. Okay, fine, not a problem.
And I'll put it as a sub point.
However you want to do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's it for full board agenda then, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So we'll move on to, I think it's, let me just
Calendar.
show you that calendar. Okay. I got to pull it up. Everybody still there?
We're here.
So, I can't. Okay, sorry, I pressed the wrong thing. Okay, so we're into June. Bernadette cannot be here tonight, so we'll come back to her. Housing Committee, Hazel's not here, but she definitely wants a meeting on the 2nd. Sanitation, I spoke to April. I don't know if she joined the meeting tonight.
Being here, Jeremy.
Parks
I'm
and
here.
Recreation.
I'm here,
Okay.
Jeremy. April.
So yeah, so we talked about during the full board agenda. I did put you on there that your meetings have moved to the first Tuesday of the month, and then we're going to try to get the Palm Parkway Reconstruction Project liaison at your next meeting.
Jeremy, you have the health committee, but as far as I know, we're not having a meeting. Maybe that was,
Yeah, it's up to you. That's why we're here.
let's leave it blank, not unless that's the date chosen for the training. But no one could really come in to watch it. You have to be there.
Yeah, like you said, it's not really a meeting anyway.
Right.
The training, right? So I'll take you off.
Okay.
And Jeremy, there's no
Uh,
parks meeting in June.
Take you off. Executive board we discussed. Economic development is always a maybe. Leadership, public safety on the 21st, full board. And then I got to check for fireworks. So there's usually a conflict with the Orchard Beach fireworks and the full board meeting. And so last year I made, as talked, to make sure we put it on the calendar. So I put this on last year. I reached out to the BP's office. They don't know yet what's going on with the fireworks. Last I checked. And transportation, second Monday. Normally it's the first Monday, but last month we talked about that. And I believe that DOT and the MTA or Metro North is coming to that meeting. DOT is about, I think, the bus route redesign for Boston Road or Gun Hill Road.
Hey, Veronica.
Yes.
So I was thinking, since we need a public hearing for June, what do you think of doing a public hearing before your public safety meeting, maybe to talk about the scooters, the electric scooters, the three companies?
Okay, we could do that.
So what time?
6? Is 6 okay?
6 is fine with me.
Well, just remember it's going to be in person. So
Okay, that's fine.
um,
And attendance, would you want attendance mandatory? Who makes that call? Is it the chairperson of the committee or the board?
yeah, I think it's the chairperson of the committee.
Do you want to make attendance mandatory, Veronica?
Some of my committee members might not be able to make it for 6 o'clock, so I think we can do it as not mandatory. I think it's more for the public to be able to voice their concerns with the e-scooters.
Okay, and I guess, Jeremy, can you just inform the companies that we're planning on having a public hearing, so they, if they're smart, they'll attend.
Okay, so 6 o'clock, hearing e-scooters. So when we go over everybody's agendas, remember, hold on, maybe I should just put resumption. Actually, it's the 15th, I believe. I'll put this on the calendar.
By the way, Jeremy,
Yeah.
where would the full board meeting be held?
Maestro's is the only place that would hold us right now, to my knowledge. Or maybe Oasis, but I don't know if Oasis is large enough. Maestro's is probably larger. What do you think, Yahya?
Same size.
Al, any other ideas? Just probably Maestro's, right? Or Oasis?
I like Maestros because of the parking. They give us the parking, right?
Maestros has a lot they can park in. Maestros are probably the best.
Yeah, but you better check because, don't forget there's a lot of graduations and parties going
I'm
on in June.
I'm sure Jeremy will check.
Okay.
So, all right, so I'll check and I can
Jeremy,
double check with Einstein.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Okay.
I can double check with them, but do not hold your breath on Einstein.
Okay.
I mean, I could check with Calvary too. I heard they're coming back to the precinct council breakfast since the COVID, but I really, again, you got to remember it's probably too much of a liability for them.
Yeah, especially Calvary, because you got to walk through the hallways, and I can see Einstein being a little easier since we're very secluded.
Yeah, but again, it's Montefiore, so don't hold your breath. Okay. So, that good otherwise for now?
All right, sounds good. We'll vote on it when we get to the motions after the gallery session. We just look at the agenda to see what's next. I guess we're up for the gallery session. Everyone gets 2 minutes of uninterrupted time with a 30-second warning.
I'm sorry,
Oral, are you ready?
session
And then
on?
I'll
Did I miss the gallery session?
I can
No.
hear you.
have to start.
Okay, sorry.
I
So,
heard you. I heard you.
okay, so let me just look at the list. I have it here. I'm just gonna go over for the how I see the order I see. Charlene Jackson Mendez, would you like to speak in the gallery session?
Muted.
Charlene?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes with a 30-second warning. Does that work with you?
That's fine.
Okay, you can start.
I filed a formal complaint as of April 5th. It was kicked back to Community Board 11 in April, and it's now almost June, and I have heard nothing about when that complaint will be heard or processed. So I would like to be responded to. Also, I would like to know when the new board members will be seated and when their names will be made available to the public. And I would also like to know the proposed amendments to the bylaws, if the public will be able to view those proposed amendments, and if they will have a chance to weigh in on any of the proposed changes. And then lastly, I would like to know, it was my understanding that there are term limits with regard to membership on the community board. And I understood that Mr. D'Angelo was term limited, but now he's been nominated for vice chair. So I just would like some feedback in whatever form you deem appropriate about what the rules are. Thank you.
So Mr. D'Angelo is term limited for chairperson of the board, not term limited for vice chairperson. And yeah, I am aware of your complaint. I was not informed that it was kicked down to us. So I don't know if you have that in writing from the borough president's office.
Yes, I do. And it was emailed to you all. So if you didn't get it for some reason, that time, the loss of time needs to be like addressed, because if I received it, you definitely should have received it. And if you're telling me you didn't get it, then I will follow up with
Yeah.
the general counsel and with the borough president's office to figure out where the breakdown in communication occurred.
Charlene, it's Al. I believe I did see something from the borough president's office. I don't know, Jeremy, maybe you should check.
I mean, I just did a search. I see the original complaint, but I don't see. So maybe, look, it could have, maybe it was sent to me and I just didn't see it, but I don't have record of it that I know of.
But I think it's something we should act on ASAP.
Okay. So, or Yahe? Next.
Yeah, the
Oh,
names
wait,
of
the
the new board
bylaws,
members.
I'm sorry. The
Yeah,
bylaws
the bylaws
are,
of the new,
the minutes should be online already, and I'm gonna link the full board agenda. Will link to those minutes. So if anybody has any questions about what the proposed amendments are. Sorry.
okay, and the names of the new board members, when do we get them? In June, right? Or do we get them
Well, we're
sooner?
supposed to get them by, officially, they're supposed to be April 1st every year, to my knowledge. But we normally get reappointments first. Whether people have applied to be reappointed or to renew, I haven't received that yet either.
Because I applied for the renewal, I haven't heard anything, so.
And
Okay.
But
aren't there,
usually I'm informed a couple days before you probably receive the letter, but I still haven't been informed.
and aren't there term limits, Jeremy, just to reiterate for board members? Isn't it two-year terms
So
No, I
you're
think-
talking about
for
you're talking about
people
term
to be
limits
appointed?
from, yeah, you have 8 years from 2019, 2020. It depends on when you were appointed, reappointed. So approximately 8. I mean, it's 8 years. I think some people are grandfathered and they get an extra year because of when. So around what, 2026, I think would be maybe the earliest. Okay.
All right. And I think once it gets closer to 2025, I think we'll start looking for that list to see what the list looks like and who's got to go. I don't think they've even compiled the list at this point.
VP's office will probably give us a heads up, or at least I would hope they would.
We already have people on these boards who want to join the boards. We should be glad we have people who want to be on the board.
Yeah. Well, I
Showing
think
out
it was.
people.
Well, we'll test it out, I guess, because it was voted. It was voted on by the public. All right, so we'll go to the second person. C. Slater. Well, would you like to say something in the gallery session?
Sorry. Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry. Just quickly.
Yeah.
Jeremy, can you forward Ms. Charlene Jackson Mendez our complaint form? So if she wants to get ahead of it, because if it trickles down to me that for the disciplinary board or the ethics, we'll have to complete one of those forms. So please forward her a copy of that form.
Yeah, no, she has it. Yeah, she has it. I mean, it's not. I think there was maybe an issue with being able to use it, but I think it's probably sufficient for what she did send.
So you're saying you don't have record of the complaint?
No, I'm saying I don't have record of it being kicked down to us because the email you sent was that you want it processed at the level of the borough president's office, which is not us.
Yes. And so Mr. Johnson is saying he's never seen the complaint?
I don't think I've ever said that. I said that if you have the complaint to fill out the form, you did not use the forum of the committee to review the complaint. You requested that it be reviewed by the borough president's office. So if you would like it to be reviewed by the forum of the committee, please complete the form.
Well, I did use the form from Community Board 11. It's all there.
Okay, so Jeremy, could you forward that to me, because the last correspondence was to have the BP's office review it. So if it's being requested to be by the committee, we'll take that into consideration if it's complete.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the only thing. That's the only thing I have is, yeah.
And
So-
I will be sure to get in contact with the general counsel and with Mr. Lucania so he can reach out to you all to let you know that that decision was made. I don't understand why you would not have that information, but I'm sure it can be clarified because, when.
No, we believe you.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Hey.
All right, C. Slater.
I'm just observing.
Okay, perfect. Diana Finch.
Yes, thank you. Now that we're starting plans to meet in person, I would request that we not meet at Einstein because it's such a remote location and very far from public transportation, very difficult to get to for most parts of the district. If you have a car, it's not bad, I guess, but many people don't have cars, or once they found their parking spot for the night, they don't want to have to lose it. So please consider other locations. We've been able to hold meetings at the local elementary school. Maybe schools throughout the district would be willing to host meetings. And if you could follow the procedure that the 49th Precinct Community Council does, where they rotate meetings around the district so that people from different parts of the district have a chance to go and make it convenient for them. Thanks.
So in response to Einstein, as we said earlier, we're not allowed to meet there currently, last I checked. And the other problem with the executive board, we can be up to 50 people at any time, and it's always hard to configure the board in a proper way. So that's why we've always historically met at certain locations, and the parking issue tends to be people like. But definitely, I've definitely explored that in the past, and I definitely think it's a worthy goal or idea, or ideal, whatever.
Thank you.
All right. Good input. Thank you. Marianne?
And Marion, I believe.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's see here. Mr. Press?
Thank you. I'm going to be quick because there's a lot of items, or I'm going to be fast. The e-scooters are traffic and transportation, not public safety. The police department says they don't handle it. Bylaw amendments should be in the written agenda so people know what they are. And when you have a question, oh, well, I was absent the meeting. I didn't know it was in what it was. It could be in the writing. Now, there was no economic development meeting this month again. Will there be a last-minute liquor license as was last month? And if you're having a board public hearing, as is going to be happening, all members of the board have to be there because you need a quorum. Okay, so that's what the quickness, if you want to have a public hearing by the board, you need a quorum of the board. So if you want to reply to any of those, I'll take answers now.
Good points. I don't have a response. But if the terminology was to be written on the full board agenda, I guess we could do it. But it's too late for this one unless anyone wants to revisit it to write the verbiage.
Yeah, I could double check with the bylaws, the letter of the bylaws.
Okay.
We're not voting on it. We're not voting on it this month.
We're voting on it next month.
Right, it still has to be for 2 meetings.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll double check. If that's correct, Bob, I'll correct it. All right.
No problem. Thank you.
And then in terms of the quorum issue for a public hearing, can you tell me where you get that information from?
From when I was the budget chair of Community Board 8 and we had public hearings on the budget, that we had to have a quorum of the board.
Yes, this is not a quorum, or this is not, well, that may be true. I don't think it is, but.
It was a board public hearing, that's why.
Yeah, no, I understand. But that was Community Board 8, right?
It was, we got our rules from the borough president's office and open meetings law and all,
But Board 8 does have its own rules, its own bylaws, right?
Yeah, and I think our bylaws.
They also mandate land use meetings for the full board too, right?
Well, no, well, yeah, but we have Board 8 has a special nature area and a historic district, which no other board in the Bronx has.
So they do things a little bit differently sometimes. So
yeah, you have 12 boards doing things 12 different ways.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of my colleagues complain about that. So
right, yeah,
that should be looked into.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, thank you. Ms. Delgado, our last gallery speaker that I have on my list here.
Hi, can I have a 30-second warning, please?
Yes, no problem.
All right, thank you. I'd like to express again what I expressed in the early meeting, that when a staff or a board member violates the code of conduct, it's funny, it's acceptable. So if there's someone from the public, like myself, responds likewise, it's not acceptable, threatened to be banned or be muted. And we have to really consider that laughing at what happened in Buffalo and making jokes is not appropriate. What happened in Buffalo is a tragedy. It shows how racism still exists, not only in Buffalo, but in our own district. Second, I'm very saddened that the bylaw meeting, the chair actually requests to have less meetings and to hold meetings only when they deem it's necessary. In fact, we need more meetings, but I think the reason why is because you have board members who don't attend meetings, you don't have quorums, you don't have minutes done on a timely basis. I think the fact that you're lowering your own standards because your board members and the staff and the chair cannot abide by the rules, open meetings law, their own bylaws, the FOIL laws. So I think that this is very shows how this board is deteriorating, and we need a change in leadership drastically. Immediately, we need a change in leadership because this cannot continue going on. It actually hurts our community. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You're muted, Yahe.
Sorry, that was the last of our gallery speakers. Let me just pull the agenda up one more time. All right, topic number 7 is motions. So we'll go back to the motions. So I'm going to call for a motion to approve the draft April 22, 2022 meeting minutes. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Sandy. Thank you.
So point of order, Yahe, this is April 25th, right? Because we already voted on the April 14th one.
Oh, yeah, that's
we
right.
had
We
two
had 2
meetings.
meetings that month. Correct. Yeah, you're right. Good point. So that was the second meeting that we had. That was the emergency meeting. So we're voting on the draft April 25th emergency meeting.
No. The 14th was the emergency. The 25th was the normal.
Okay. All right. So the April 14th meeting. So that's what we're voting on, a motion to approve those minutes. Do I have a second?
Hold on. We're voting on the 25th, which was a regular meeting. April 14th was an emergency, which is, we already approved that.
Oh, we already approved that. We approved that on the 25th. Okay.
Yeah, you can see, if I scroll down, we approved it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's, I'm going to amend the motion again. Motion to approve the April 25th, which would have been the regular meeting, seconded by Sandy.
Right.
Okay. Any further discussion? Any objections? Abstentions? All right, motion passes. Second item is motion to approve the Community Board 11 full board agenda for next week. Do I have a second?
Seconded, Ken Gilman.
Thank you, Ken. Any discussion? Objections? Abstentions? All right, motion passes. And our last motion here is we call for a motion to approve the June 2022 Community Board 11 meeting and events calendar. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Sandy. Any discussion on it? Objections? Abstentions? All right, motion passes. So we'll move on to old business. Do we have any old business? Okay. Do we have any new business? All right, I don't hear anything from anyone. So it is 7:55 p.m. The leadership meeting has ended. Thank you, everybody, and we'll talk to everybody next week.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye. Thanks.
Good night.
Thank you and good night.